Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining me here, you're welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 financial habits that is going to leave you stranded. We are in the second half of 2025, and if you're still making any of these financial mistakes, I have good news for you. There is still time for you to sit back and make better financial decisions, okay? But it all starts with a consciousness that you're even making financial mistakes that can leave you stranded either today, tomorrow, or in the future. If this is your first time you're seeing my face, you're welcome to the channel. My name is Atinuke, and I film about faith, food, and lifestyle. Without wasting much of your time, let's jump right into the video. The first financial mistake that you can be making that is going to leave you stranded, or financial habits that you have that is totally wrong, is spending before you save. And I'm saying this as somebody who is a 9 to 5 person and also runs a business on the side. It is important that you save before you spend, okay? And the truth is, once you collect your paycheck or you receive your salary in your account, I know a lot of us are very swift to start making transfers. You want to make payment for this, you want to make payment for that. And what I have found out is doing that, a lot of times, by the time you're done making those payments and you see whatever is left, it's not even necessarily enough to take you through the month, and you become quite resistant to actually saving. So instead of spending before you save, what is most appropriate is for you to save before you spend. So for example, you get your salary, instead of you making all those payments that are due, you want to pay for some fees, you want to send money home for feeding, you want to give your mom and your dad money, the first thing you should do is to put away a certain percentage of that salary away. You should have a savings account or whatever account and just put it away, okay? And that should be your savings. As a rule of thumb, you should save at least 10% of your salary. Yes, at least 10%. So if you're earning 100,000, you should be saving at least 10,000 naira every month. Now, the truth is, once you finish putting away that money, you can now go ahead and start to spend, start to pay for whatever that you need to pay throughout the month, okay? And even though whatever is left, for you to spend for your own personal self or whatever it is, I found out that just putting that savings aside first, then paying whatever bills that I need to pay. By the time I have whatever is left, I'm usually able to just sit with it. And you know how you enter supermarket and you just do falafolo, or you just spontaneously see something and you just quickly go and buy. Just knowing that, okay, this is the disposable income I have left for the month helps you to control your spending, okay? So in 2025, you should not still be spending before you save. Please save before you spend. It is very, very important. The number 2 financial habit that is going to leave you stranded is not having a financial buffer. And what is a financial buffer? People would say that a financial buffer is having at least 6 months living expenses saved up, okay? And how do you have these 6 months living expenses saved up if you are spending before you save? So basically, if in a month your living expenses, let me say 200,000 naira, you should have at least times 6, you should have at least 1.2 million naira saved up. And I know that the economy that we are in and everything, but the truth is, if you start to put away this money little by little, before you know it, you would have gotten your financial buffer. Why is this financial buffer very important? It's important because you don't know what can happen, because life can always lie. People call it like an emergency fund. If there was something, if something just came up and you needed to spend money, okay, you could just go into your financial buffer and take it, okay? So not having a financial buffer, living paycheck to paycheck, as you are receiving your salary, everything is spent, okay? You are waiting for the next paycheck to come in so that you can spend again. No, you guys, you know how life is now, guys. Anything can come up at any point in time. So it's very important that you have a financial buffer. Some people have lost their jobs. We don't pray for that to happen. And I'm not one of those people that want to preach a message and use fear as the driving force. I'm never one of those people. Anything you want to tell me and you want to use fear to preach it, I quickly excuse myself from that, because as a Christian, I know that God hasn't given me a spirit of fear. So I'm not going to let anybody use fear as a driving force to preach anything to me or to ask me to do anything. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know. Life comes, life can just happen at any point in time. We always pray for good things to happen to us, and that's our portion, but still have a financial buffer. It just makes you breathe in and out easier. Somebody said, even apart from, life just happening, maybe you're in a toxic workplace and you couldn't take it again. Some people cannot leave their toxic workplaces because they have no financial buffer. They're living paycheck to paycheck, all right? You could have just easily left that job and taken a few months and started to look for another job, knowing fully well that you have something to sustain you in the time frame, okay? So the second financial habit that you need to do away with is not having a financial buffer. Start to put away money that is something like an emergency fund for you. The number 3 thing is, and this might sound funny because it kind of almost contradicts what I said in number 1, but it's the truth, okay? The number 3 thing is saving instead of investing. So my number 1 tip was spending before you save, okay? And I said that you should put away a certain percentage of your salary, at least 10% every month, to save. Now, when you save that money, what do you do with it? A lot of people leave their money inside their bank, and that's like the worst financial habit that you can have in 2025, not letting your money work for you. I did a video a few weeks back about investment opportunities that you can start with as little as 5,000 naira. I'm going to link it up for you guys here in case you haven't seen that video. Now, when you have saved that money, what do you do with that money? Do you just leave it in your savings account? No, you cannot be saving instead of investing. When I started off, working and saving and all that, I just like to see my money in my account. I just like to see the money there, growing. This month I'll add this amount. This next month I'll add this amount. It's sweet to see, but the truth of the matter is inflation is eroding whatever it is you are saving, okay? You guys know that when you go to the market, the price of things today is not the price of things tomorrow. So leaving your money in your account is being, your funds are being eroded by inflation. Your financial capacity is being eroded by inflation. So you should not be saving, you should be investing your savings, okay? In that video, I talked about several investment opportunities for you guys that you can do with 5,000 naira, okay? Just 5,000 naira. Please, if you haven't watched that video, go and watch that video. When you invest your money, you are turning that money into basically a seed and allowing that seed to grow, okay? You will get returns on your investment, and it's just a fantastic place to be. So if you are still in a season where you are keeping your 5,000 naira and you're like, it's too small, I can't invest it, my 10% is only 5,000 naira a month, and that's what I'm saving, let me wait for it to get to 1 million naira. I'm here to break it to you. You don't have to wait for it to get to 1 million naira before you start to invest. There are a lot of investment opportunities that you can do with as little as 5,000 naira. So please key into any of those things, all right? When you put that money away every month as your savings, put it into something. Let your money work for you, all right? I would also like to say that it's best for you to be spending your returns on your investment than for you to be spending your savings. Do you guys understand? When you save money, if you get the returns that you get, for example, like the interest, it makes more sense for you to spend your interest than for you to spend your savings, because what you are doing is eating your seed. Okay, what you are doing in your savings, that money you have put aside is like a seed. You're supposed to put it and allow it to grow. Like it's like a seed. You know how you plant and you allow the tree to grow? Exactly, that is what your savings is for you. It's a seed and you're supposed to plant it and allow it to grow. And how do you plant it? By investing. So it makes logical sense for you to spend your interest, your returns on your investment and not your savings. Does that make sense? Obviously, times will come in life. Sometimes some things may happen that might make you spend your savings, but in totality, as much as possible, you should be spending the returns on your investments, not your savings, okay? So the number 4 thing that I wrote here is debts. A lot of people run their lives with debts, all right? I mean, you borrow from here, you borrow from there, you borrow from Mr. B, you borrow from Mr. C. If you are not, people will tell you that one of the person that owes the most in this life, are very rich people that are financially successful, but they are not just collecting these debts and using it to fund their lifestyle. They are using it to do things like their businesses and things like that, okay? So you collecting loans, all these loan apps and loan sharks and all these loan things, I know that a lot of people, things have pushed them there. the condition of the economy, whatever it is that has kept you there. But it's high time you break free from that, okay? It is high time you break free from that. You can't be using debt to fund your lifestyle. You can't be using loans to fund your lifestyle. I was listening to a podcast from Elon Musk, and he sincerely spoke about this. Elon Musk is one of the richest, if not the richest man in the world right now, but he's definitely up there. He spoke about this. He said a lot of Americans run their life on credit cards, okay? And he said it's a horrible place to be. If the richest man or one of the richest people in the world, one of the most successful people in the world is telling you stay away from debt, then I think you should listen. Like, if you will not listen to me, Elon Musk has also said it as well. So as much as possible, please do away with debts. Right, he spoke about these credit cards, and he said 70% of Americans live their life on credit cards. And basically it's just a cycle. The truth is, you collect these loans, you collect your salary, you use your salary to pay these loans back, and you have nothing left for the month. You're unable to save, you don't have even the money to run your financial expense. Do you understand? So what do? You go back to that loan and you take it again. And that's how it works with credit card. By the time you finish paying your credit card, by the time you finish paying your credit card bill, you realize that there's nothing left for you to spend again. So you go back and you still draw from that credit card again. As much as possible, please don't if you still owe right now, if you're owing money, I think some of the things that you should start to do financially is to start working towards being debt-free. Even before we talk about savings and investment, first thing you should do is work towards being financially debt-free. And you can do it in two ways. The first way you can do it is to first pay off those bigger debts, okay? Or if you feel like paying those higher ones will be draining to you, you can pay those smaller ones. Just seeing them reduce will even give you more ginger and more satisfaction to be able to clear all outstanding debts, okay? So please, as much as possible, don't live your life on debt. If you have to collect a loan, make sure you are collecting the loan to do something that is going to yield increase, okay? That is going to yield fruit, like collecting a loan to start a viable business. All right, to start a viable business. If you have to borrow money for anything, make sure that you are able to pay it back the next month or within the next few weeks, and that when you pay it back, you are not still going to have to go back again to draw from that loan or from your credit card to be able to run the rest of the month, okay? So please, in 2025, as much as possible, try and stay away, or for the rest, as much as possible, try and stay away from things that leave you indebted, okay? And the final thing is just living above your lifestyle, okay? And I put this as number 5 because it kind of precedes what, it's like a lot of people, especially those that use debt to fund their lifestyle, are people that try to live above their lifestyle, above their means, okay? Stop stop looking at social media to package your lifestyle. You are the one that knows what you earn in a month, okay? You are the one that knows what to earn in a month, and as much as possible, try and stay within what you earn. It is doable, it is possible. There are people, you need to understand that there are people that earn far lesser than what you earn, and they are not, and they are okay. They're living life okay? So as much as possible, try and live within your means. Stop trying to spend above your lifestyle. Stop trying to package. Stop trying to, I want to look this way. I want to feel this way. I want people to see me this way. These people don't care. Some people are actually spending money that they have. Imagine you trying to package yourself and trying to compete with those kind of people. And this is one of the things that leave people indebted, because you before you know it, you are borrowing, you are going to collect things on credit, you will collect clothes on credit, you will collect phone on credit. Have you seen some of these so-called some influencers sometimes that you see them embarrassing online, that they are owing money, they collected clothes, they collected phone, this thing that they use is on it's just so messy. It's just so messy. Please, whatever it is that you have, be contented with it and continue to strive for more and continue to build more financial capability, okay? But living above your means or more than what your lifestyle can take, it's just going to leave you in financial ruins. Okay, it's going to leave you stranded. Okay, you don't want to. I was speaking to somebody at work, and he said he had worked with somebody that we're talking about the person, and he was saying that he had worked with somebody that was borrowing money from a security guard at the office. Imagine you that you have a proper white collar job having to go and borrow money from the security in the office. And it got me thinking. So I asked the person, how did he even get there? What happened to his colleagues that he had left all his colleagues, all his friends and family, and he had to go and borrow from a security guard that doesn't even have much? You are borrowing from that person. And the guy said, the guy has borrowed money from everybody. He doesn't pay back, or you have to hound him for so long before he pays back. So nobody was willing to borrow him money again. He was left with borrowing money from a security guard. And you don't want to ever be in that position where you cannot pick your phone and call somebody because they know that you're an onigwesi, okay? Because you live above your lifestyle. When you collect that money now, you guys used to buy the latest iPhone. Makes no sense. That's living above your lifestyle or above your means, okay? And it also got me thinking that the security guard that is earning just a little, he still had something saved that he could borrow a professional staff. Let me put it like that. He still had something saved. So that's to tell you that it doesn't matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey in life. You can always save. You can always have something put aside. If a security guard can have money that is borrowing a senior colleague, I mean, you guys get my drift, okay? So as much as possible, please live within your means, okay? Doesn't matter what anybody around you is doing. Just try as much as possible to live within your means. And I want to drop a bonus point. And the bonus point is, with the current thing, way the economy is going, if you can, please have more than one source of income. I'm one of those people that preach it, and I know that it's not necessarily doable for everybody, but if you can, if it is within your means, please have more than one source of income. It is very, very important. I feel like in this age of social media, there's a lot of things that you can do online without even leaving your house that can fetch you some extra income. So find it and, just do it. It would help you save and invest more. Okay, so I've come to the end of this video. If you guys have learned a thing or two, let me know in the comment section. And if you feel like there are any other tips that you would like to share with anybody, please drop it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next turn. Bye.